send this out. You know, I'm going to send this. A lot of people say this. I'm moving to equity. I don't have to do that. I don't like. What do you mean you don't have to do it? You don't have to do what? You don't got to do what? All right? Because I don't know who's telling y'all every process is just guaranteed with no pushback. Every single process has pushback. All right. I'm willing to say 100% of the time you are going to receive pushback. Now, what does pushback look like? Pushback may look like them not responding. Pushback may look like them saying, hey, we don't understand this. All right. Anything that's outside of a yes is pushback. All right. And we have to understand that our word is our bond. So once we say something, once we say, hey, I'm coming forth to claim the security interest on the account. All right. Let's say they ignore us or they say no. I know how to escalate. All right. I see the issues. I see the problems. All right. I used to do the same thing. You do a lot of barking, but no bite. All right. You're saying all this. It's mine. It's mine. Well, prove it. A lot of you people can't prove anything. All right. If you was in front of a judge right now, you would fold and you were quick to blame it on somebody that taught you. All right. How did I learn what I learned right now? Well, as far as court, I didn't take no court classes. Wasn't nobody talking about court. Was nobody talking about court, family? It was nobody teaching people how to build a lawsuit. All right. You had people that saying, hey, you just got to do this. If you know, you know. Once you know yourself, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is, it's understandable, but tell a person to go read their rules and procedures in their state. Okay, because every time this happens, all right, every time you get into a situation of pushback, all right, most people get discouraged. Most people start getting emotional, all right, and that's not the time to be emotional. That's the time to literally compile all that evidence that they're sending you and create a public claim, all right. It doesn't even matter if you're dealing with trust. Why y'all think they have trust laws? All right. All laws are meant to be broken, meaning if somebody breaks your trust rights, you have to litigate. You see what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, you can blame me all day, but if anybody that's blaming me, that shows their capacity. Like, I'm a grown man. All right. I've never blamed nothing on anyone, especially during this journey. So I don't really understand when people say, well, I blame these gurus out here. Like, how can you possibly say to anyone, you know what I'm saying? That's for anybody. How can someone say, well, it's these gurus' fault? Like, don't that sound like kids? Like, it wasn't me, it was the gurus. The gurus told me to do this. So the gurus didn't tell you to go read. All right. The guru didn't tell you to go read your rules and regulations. But they didn't go over with you personally. So you feel like you see what I'm saying? A lot of people may feel like that. Okay, but I can honestly say I never once felt like that. I never blamed nothing, well, my current position on anyone. It was always, okay, I don't know enough. Let me keep reading. And as I kept reading, I started to experience more. As I started to experience more, all right, I started to literally sharpen my arm. All right, when I started losing more, I started learning more. All right, that might go over a lot of y'all heads. When I started losing more, I started learning more. All right, because there are lessons in all losses. You don't learn anything when you win because you think you did everything right. Okay. I remember my first results is really because the corporation folded. They didn't even push back. All right. This is the apartment I had in South Carolina way before I even moved to Florida. All right. Literally, I did my process. They just didn't say anything. All right. So in my mind, okay, yeah, I got them. So when then I literally moved to Florida and tried to do the same thing. No, Florida, they responded back to me. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I did everything right. Meaning I didn't learn anything from the win. I learned more from the loss. All right. I learned how to, motion. I learned how to answer. All right. I remember one of the first things I did wrong. I remember the corporation asked me, did I pay rent? Something like that. It was in the court. And then I said something that had nothing to do with what they was asking. And I remember them doing the strike defendant's answer. It was the first time I ever seen that motion. It was like motion to strike defendant's answer. I'm like, what? I took that like fighting words. I'm like, what did they just say? Strike? And literally the judge said motion granted, meaning they strike down my answer because my answer had nothing to do with what they was asking me. All right. And I remember I tried to take a piece out of their playbook and try to do that for another case. I tried to do the same thing, like strike defendant answer, but I did it in the wrong situation. So my strike defendant answer got denied. All right. So this was me learning as I was going. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and the only way you can learn, nobody can teach you how to maneuver when you get in court. Of course, we can go prep. But when you get in there, family, it's going to be like you have to go as it comes to you. It ain't going to be, well, Mansa didn't tell me they was going to ask me this. My friend, you're in Alabama. I've never been to Alabama. All right. Or vice versa. All right. Like you got to remember, you're in your state and you have to understand how to move in your state. When we get on here and teach, we're literally talking to 50 states. People that live in 50 different states. So Lucy that live in California might not have the same rules and regulations as Timothy that stays in New Jersey. You see what I'm saying? And we have to understand that. All right. Just because we all send the same documentation in does not mean we're going to get the same avenue, if that makes sense. All right. And that's why I've been trying to teach a formula. When you stick to the formula, it doesn't matter which road you go down, you're good because you have a formula. The formula is a 3-wave process. All right. And after the 3-wave process, after we do our private administrative process, we're literally taking that to the public and going to tell someone so the world can see what we're going through. When you try to keep everything private, a lot of people trying to teach y'all to don't go public, don't go, man, stop listening to these people, family. All right. You have to know the public side and you have to know the private side. There's two sides of the counter. There's two sides of the accounting book. All right. Bookkeeping. All right. To tell yourself I'm only going to be private, you're literally cutting one hand off. And that's why most people that only say I'm private, don't have no results. All right. And if you really listen to them, all right, they're on a one-way road to nowhere. Okay, that's really what it is. Just like somebody that just knows public, they're on a one-way road to nowhere. You have to know both hands, left hand, right hand. You got to be able to put them up. All right, you got to be able to bob and weave. All right, you can't bob, weave with one. Who y'all think y'all is? That kid that play ball named Hansel? He is a monster. Okay, what's his name? The dude that got the one arm. I'm talking about he be punishing y'all. All right, that's a rarity. Okay, that is a rarity. When you play the game of basketball, it's way better to have two arms. Now, he's doing some amazing things. All right. But again, in this field, meaning contractual understanding, you have to know the public side. You have to know the private side. Okay. The public side is the public debt. The private is the private credit. You have to bring them together. All right. To set off the account. Okay. So that's what it is, all right? It's not really too much rocket science. We make it rocket science when we're going off of what everyone is telling us. I stopped listening to humans, all right? I stopped listening to humans, all right? Even myself, all right? I'm telling y'all, yo, don't be listening to humans. Go see for yourself. Go lose. Some of y'all are sitting on research for 15 years and you have not lost yet, meaning you have not even put nothing together to lose. And if you have lost, why haven't you learned from that? Most people, they lose and they say, oh, my God, that didn't work. They go try something new. All right. No, let's try to fix what we were trying to do. All right. Because the court is going to tell you, hey, case dismissed for lack of jurisdiction or case dismissed for such and such. OK. All right. So understand now, when we do our full 3-wave process, remember, we're claiming the security interest. All right. All right. When we're coming forth to claim the security interest, if they do not apply the security interest to the account, family, that is dishonor. All right. Now, you definitely want a fee schedule when you are sending out documentations. All right. I know I haven't mentioned that or anything like that. All right. But especially if you're operating through a trust, because if I got a trust fee schedule, all right, and I have in that fee schedule that, hey, it's $500K. All right. Y'all hear me clearly because I'm not poor. It's $500,000 per dishonor. So if I'm sending you 3 tender of payments, meaning my first wave is going to have the tender of payment. If you deny that or dishonor that, I'm going to send you a second wave, meaning I'm going to add the tender of payment I sent the first time. So again, with my schedule fee, If you deny my stuff 3 times, I can hit you 500K times 3. Apply it with my trust documents. All right. Apply it with my claim to security interest. All right. Now that way, of course, they're going to ignore it, say, man, we ain't worried about this dude. All right. So now I'm building the case. I'm compiling all evidence. So by the time we get to my default judgment, I give them that last 72 hours to respond. If they don't respond, now I can take all that and go file a claim. I can file trust fraud. I can file breach of fiduciary duties. I can file security fraud. I can file unjust enrichment. Okay. And then I'm going to compile all my fee schedule. All right. I'm going to add that in there as well. That way, all right, when the case gets rolling after I submit the case, and then, I get my case number. All right. And then the corporation that I'm filing these claims on, that's when they start responding, family. A lot of y'all aren't getting responded for because you haven't got to that part. All right. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't respond to you either because you don't know what you're doing. Why would they respond to you? You don't even know how to build a case. It's almost like somebody is stealing all your stuff and you don't know how to simply call 911. All right. And I'm saying it's simple in this manner, but that's basically what's happening. All right. So understanding that, now we're in court. All right. Now I got my fee schedule. Remember, any type of interference with trust business, my schedule fee, all right, is $2 million. Okay. All right. Mine's is $2 million. My schedule fee is $2 million. Why? Because I'm not poor. All right. And plus 25,000 ain't gonna do nothing anyway. So I'm telling y'all to kind of put some value on yourself. Okay. All right. Now I have my whole total fee schedule. Let's say from that fee schedule, I total $8 million. All right. Now I'm adding $8 million to my damages. You see what I'm saying? Now it's going to work hand in hand because I already put my fee schedule with my case. You see what I'm saying? You have to show that you're already properly prepared to prevent a piss poor performance. You have to understand this, family. Okay? All right? You got to understand this. All right? No, family, they're losing because they don't know what's going on. Look, there goes somebody else. Just go through the back door. Just go through bankruptcy. You don't got to deal with those lower courts. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Even if I go through the back door, family, what happens when they dishonor? You still have to litigate. No matter if you're lower court, higher court, top court, low court. All right. In court, out court. All right. You got to know how to litigate. It doesn't matter. Like, we did not say what's to go to, family. You know how many people in bankruptcy right now and don't understand how to get their shit out of bankruptcy. All right. So that's not the answer, my guy. All right. That's not the answer. Okay. We have to understand how to litigate. We need the full process. All right. Why not learn the lower courts? Why not learn the lower courts and the higher courts? Why not learn them? Instead of saying, wait, you don't got to do that, because that's what these teachers are telling y'all. They're telling y'all, hey, you don't got to worry about that. We don't do that. We act like they uppity, bougie folks or something like that. They ain't got no results. You see what I'm saying? Learn the lower court so you can learn the higher court. All right. If I lose in lower court, I can appeal and it's going to go to the higher court for them to review. What are y'all talking? That's what I'm saying. Like, people just be talking. They just talk. And that's why we trying to tell y'all, when you actually go lose, you don't have to listen to people. You don't have to listen to me. You go see for yourself. But when you don't do that, you have to sit behind the screen and say, oh, okay. Oh my God, they sound good. After my screen go off, y'all go click on somebody else's page. Oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Oh my gosh. Y'all go click on somebody else's page. Oh my gosh, my mind is blown. Oh my gosh, this is the way. I've never heard no one break it down like this. It's y'all fault. Okay? It's you people fault. Okay? It's you people fault. Okay? If you got results, keep your results to yourself, family. We trying to build a process here. All right? We want folks to understand the totality. All right? Not just one part. All right? They're going to know lower court, higher court, equity court, okay? Bankruptcy court, probate. All right? They're going to learn all this. All right? Because when you understand, when you have an irrevocable trust, all right, and you're dealing with probate, all you got to do is enforce the irrevocable trust. Irrevocable assets is not supposed to be in probate. All right. Now, if it's revocable, it can be in probate. All right. The trust that we're doing for our followers. All right. We're recommending them to do an irrevocable trust. All right. Why? All right. So again, teachers on people might say, other things. All right. But when you have an irrevocable trust, it's permanent. All right. It's permanent, meaning now when you start to put assets in there, all right, it can't be changed, meaning a creditor or a quote unquote creditor or a financial institution cannot come put it in probate because it's in an irrevocable trust. All right. So when people understand this, now I got a lot of people that say, well, when you're dealing with trust, we don't sue in trust. You don't. Well, why do they have trust law? You see how it's easy to break somebody down. Why would they have trust law if you don't have to litigate if you have a trust? I know someone that lost their house that was under a trust. Why did they lose their house? Because it was under trust? Because they didn't know how to litigate. All right. So again, I know people that have UCCs that literally lose things because why? It's not because they didn't do their UCC right, because they didn't litigate. Now you sitting there with something that was stamped from the state telling you you're the secured party, but your car ain't outside. All right. You ain't sitting in your house. All right. Now you trying to figure out what is the issue. Oh my gosh, they're in cahoots. No, it's not no cahoots. You don't know how to litigate. You literally got the stamp from the state. Okay, now go press the issue. A lot of y'all really don't know how to press issues. You know why? And I'm not here to demean anyone. I'm here to bring realization. A lot of y'all are softies. A lot of y'all are softies. Okay? Somebody can literally come take something. A lot of y'all been getting things taken from you for quite some time. You're not going to do anything about it. You might just call somebody and say, hey, man, I can't believe these motherfuckers. All right, but you're not really going to press the issue. All right? You got some people that are going to press the issue.